Today is a really cold winter's day. It's 5 degrees. The wind is howling. It's been raining and we might even get some snow overnight. And I just want to go through a few things that you can do to keep your worms nice and toasty over the winter so that they're not only surviving, but so that they are thriving. If you live in the South Island, our tip number 1 is move to the North Island. Our tip number 2 is you can move your worm farm, if it's portable, into a garage or into a carport or somewhere where it's closer to the house so that the thermal mass from the house keep freezing temperatures out. Our tip number 3 is to have a large worm farm to keep it warm, and this gives it that thermal mass. So this worm farm here in the background is 2 meters by 1.5 meters large. I would never ever be able to shift it to the North Island or into my garage. Tip number 4 is that you use autumn leaves or straw as a very thick insulation layer, and that keeps them nice and snug. Tip number 5, you knit them some woolen jumpers and keep your worms nice and snug. In this worm farm, I've got about 1 million worms, so I'll get Julia to do that.
Yeah.
And our final tip number 6, is that you overfeed your worms just a little bit to create heat from the microbial breakdown of the food, and the worms really love that. Here we've got the nice layer of autumn leaves over the top, and it is about this high and it goes around the sides and the top, and that's about 10 to 15 centimeters. And I've got a thermometer here which shows me at the moment I've got 5 degrees, and I'm just going to pop it in to measure the temperature. They are sitting at very comfortable 20 degrees. We can also see that they have made cocoons, and this is a great sign if they are breeding in winter. That means they have the right temperature, it's above 20 degrees, and they find their nice spot where to go. I've also made in the back here, I've emptied out a couple of wheelbarrow loads of vermicast last week, which I'm using in the garden, and that whole area here at the back, that quarter, I filled up with insulation, with food scraps, with their bedding. And now let's gonna just check the temperature that's back there. Temperature is soaring up and it's now sitting at 30 degrees, which is absolutely amazing because I know that the food scraps are broken down really fast. The worms love those juices that drain out there. And there's a really high microbial activity. And with that microbial activity, I'll get the heat, and I also create a lot of food for the worms. The worms won't go into that area until it's a bit lower. So probably in a week or 2, they will move in and they'll have lots and lots to eat. So when I open up the leaves here, we can see the worms are just under the leaf layer. There's even some inside the leaves. And when I dig down, there is masses and masses of worms where the food scraps are sitting. And they are really active. They're doing their thing. There's cocoons there. There is babies. There's adults. They are all intermixing. And they're having a great time. So it looks like Julia doesn't need to make 1 million woolen jumpers for them.